Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way for you to exit your highly appreciated real estate, business, or asset really of any kind. I'm your host, Brett Swartz, and each episode I am joined by some of the best real estate, financial, business, and wealth minds in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. Hey, we're also streaming on Expert CRE Secrets. From time to time, we have guests that kind of really fit both podcasts. And so today's guest is exactly that. In fact, he is out of the great state of Florida, and he's been involved in real estate for the past 20 years. And he's owned properties nationally and worldwide. And he has a focus right now for mostly multifamily. And he's a licensed real estate professional and mostly focused in the South Florida market. Please welcome to the show with me, Nitzan Mosery. Nitzan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you, Brett?
Hey, better than I deserve. Glad to meet you here. And for our listeners who are getting to know you for the first time, would you give us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Sure. So I'm originally from New York City. I was born and raised into an immigrant family that, we spoke two languages at home, English and bad English, which is, how I grew up, and traveled the world for about 7 years. Then settled back down, as you stated, in the great state of Florida, and got into multifamily real estate about 11 years ago. Been involved in real estate pretty much all my life, thanks to my father. And, I remember when I was a little kid growing up, he used to tell me, there's two types of people in this world, those that pay rent and those that collect. And son, you always want to collect. So that kind of stuck in my head. And, I've always gone out and wanted to create a passive income stream for myself and for my family, because, I'm one of those lazy kind of people. I don't like to work too much. I'd rather work 80 hours than 40 hours to create that income stream.
Beautiful. Well, very well said. And that is certainly a what we're about here, creating passive income streams and multiple income streams so that we can spend more time doing the things that we enjoy doing and or give to the causes we believe in most. So that being said, though, I want to take one other step back, Nitzan, and I want to go back maybe to the earlier childhood days. I believe we've all been given certain gifts in this life, and these gifts have been given to us to be a blessing for others. Some people call them strengths, some people call them superpowers. But I'm wondering, what are those one or two gifts that you believe you were given, and how do those help how you help people today?
I was given the gift where my parents, they told me, they said, it doesn't matter what you do, always be the best. My father told me, he goes, you can be a garbage, you can pick up garbage on the streets, but be the best. And that really, put that into my head that, I need to be proud of the outcomes and of the things that I do. And I pass that on to my children as well. I always ask them, is this something that you could be proud of? Is this what you did? Are you proud of that? Because that's what's important. And I would say the other superpower or gift that I was given was the fact that there is this possibility of creating an income stream, a passive income stream, to go out and generate that so that I can live life on my terms and not have it dictated to me by somebody else. My parents always believed that, my parents, they came from Eastern Europe and from the Middle East and, Israel and so forth. And they didn't have higher education. But they believe that if you're building something for yourself and you're open, you're honest, you're trustworthy, you're transparent, these are the the qualities that will help you advance in life. And this is what I strive for today. And I truly believe that we all have the ability to go out and to live life on our terms, as long as we're able to create that passive income stream.
Beautiful. Absolutely love that. So be the best at whatever you're doing, give it your full effort. If you're going to be doing it, you might as well lead the pack there. And then belief in building something that is passive and that is can give you some freedom there, along with integrity, honesty, and transparency. Is that a fair summary?
Yes, absolutely. That's great.
Awesome. Love it. So now let's dive right into the topic for today. And by the way, you can learn more about Nitzan Mosery at investwithcip.com. That's investwithcip.com. And we're talking about becoming a successful multifamily investor. So Nitzan, what's the number one secret that you found in today's market to be a successful multifamily investor?
It's a great question. So what I found is that in multifamily, there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of different aspects that you have to understand. And, I have to say that I never graduated college. I went, many years to college and whatnot, but I just never graduated. I didn't know what I wanted to do back then. And it wasn't, I didn't have the behind to sit and to study and whatnot. I'm more of a doer. But one of the things that I've learned, not being the sharpest tool in the toolbox, is that I have to surround myself with people who are smarter than me, people who know the industry and what I want to do better than myself. I've learned the art of delegation. So to become a very successful multifamily syndicator investor, I've surrounded myself with people who are a lot smarter than me in analyzing properties, in doing due diligence, in finances, in Excel spreadsheets, and all that. And I've surrounded myself with people of that nature, and thanks to them, as a team, we've been able to move forward quite well. My business partner has a great saying. She says, this business is like running 12 marathons at the same time, and you have to cross the finish line on all 12 marathons at the same time to be successful. So, it's hard enough to run one marathon, let alone 12. So building a team of people that can help you raise capital, analyze, manage, and do your books and investor relations really helps you and moves you along that much faster.
Beautiful. So surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, the art of delegation, building teams, staying in your lane, staying in your strengths, and running 12 marathons at the same time. But hopefully you're not running all 12 by yourself, right? You're running one of them, and you got the 11 others running theirs. Is that a fair summary?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about maintenance, right? Because I've heard recently, and this is, I think, it's harder and harder to find, quality maintenance professionals, construction, plumbers, right, electricians. It's such a highly sought out thing. So it's no longer so much can you manage a property, it's can you find the maintenance professionals or have a team of maintenance professionals to be able to service your deals. What is your thought on maintenance versus management?
Maintenance is huge. As you mentioned, now maintenance people to find, to take care of your properties, to maintain your books. These are extremely important aspects of the business. Let's take it to the property level. When you're looking for maintenance people, your property manager that you have on site, before you're hiring a property manager to manage them, you need to interview them and make sure they have a huge Rolodex of people that they've worked with in the past that are credible, that are trustworthy, that can do the job. So you want to make sure that you have that so that you can maintain your asset, right? One of the problems that I've seen a lot is that people will buy a property, they'll put in a property manager, but they won't maintain the asset. And what happens is it's a lot cheaper to maintain the asset on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis, than to let it get run down and then inject a lot of money to put it back and to bring it back to life. So it's a lot easier to maintain that asset. And today, maintenance people are, as you mentioned, are very hard to come by because they're in such high demand. So you want to have, again, it's part of your team. You want to make sure that you have a good team of people that can find you a good maintenance person, have a good maintenance person on your team. So that's extremely crucial for your success. And then you have to be able to manage these people, right? It's all about management. It's managing your money, managing the property, managing your residents, managing your service calls, all, managing your investors as well, so that they'll be repeat customers. So it's kind of, twofold, right? It goes hand in hand.
Excellent. Very well said. What's the biggest obstacle or challenge currently facing you, your team, or your clients as it pertains to being a multifamily investor?
I would say right now there is a lot of demand for multifamily, and we're in a seller's market in a lot of the cities and states that we're buying in. So there's a huge demand, and a lot of people are spending money and they're just buying assets. So for us, for my team and myself, we go out and we look for, the diamond in the rough. And it's getting more and more difficult to find these diamonds in the rough, and to actually acquire them, because there's so much competition out there. Multifamily is an incredible asset to buy. If you're buying it correctly, you can withstand any downturn, right? If you're buying it very conservatively, and you're not projecting, distributions or returns to your investors that are way too aggressive, you can outrun any downturn. So it's really a great asset class. I always say it doesn't matter in a good market or in a bad market, people will always need a place to live. And if you know how to buy, and you're buying right, and you're managing the asset correctly, and you're maintaining it correctly, you can outlast anyone. So but it's becoming more and more difficult to find those good quality products.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. It's like all-time highs. Interest rates are so low, inventory is so low, and it's all chasing. It seems to be, value add multifamily properties. Good luck to find that. It's tough right now. That being said, I've often said that and I say we as in I own multifamily properties with partners, and also do multifamily brokerage and help people who are selling those things. I often say we're not in the business of selling or even really buying those assets. We're in the business of solving people's problems, right?
Right.
So the problem for the seller, what's the number one problem facing a lot of these multifamily sellers?
Well, now after we've come out of this pandemic, or still in the pandemic, right? A lot of the issues, or one of the main issues, is that a lot of us had to go into forbearance, right? We've asked for a forbearance on our mortgage and whatnot. So what we're seeing, and what we might see coming into the market shortly, is a lot of sellers now suddenly, or a lot of owners suddenly, their mortgage payments are increasing. Right? Because you've got your regular mortgage payment, and now you've got your 3 months, 6 months of forbearance mortgage payments that now are being tacked on to your monthly payment, which is increasing your mortgage payment. But the eviction moratoriums are continuing to expand and to move. So the income isn't increasing, right? A lot of people are slowly getting back to work. However, your rental income is not increasing exponentially as suddenly your mortgage payment is. So we're probably going to see a lot of these properties coming on the market where people have to sell. Finding good people to help you manage the property, finding good quality maintenance people. We're finding that a lot of people would rather stay home and get their stimulus check and get their unemployment check, which they're making more money doing that than they would probably getting paid to work. So this is causing a lot of issues in the marketplace right now. So you really have to find someone who wants to work, who's willing to work, and who's doing a good job at it.
Yeah, very well said. Talk to me about the importance of getting out of debt when you talk about forbearance and getting out of debt and having liquidity and diversification. What comes to mind there for multifamily sellers?
When it comes to selling their property?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they want to sell. They want to sell quickly. They want to be able to recoup their investors' capital. right? A lot of times, what I see is, people will sell their property and not worry about a profit. They just want to give back the funds to their investors so that their investors don't lose their capital, right? That's an important thing that you have to remember, right? We're playing with other people's money. And of course, our investors, they sign the PPM, the private placement memorandum, and fill out the subscription agreements and so forth. And they know that it's a risk and there's an opportunity to lose their money. But we as syndicators, or myself as a syndicator, I never want to go to my investors and say, hey, we lost the property, we lost your money. So we want to find out, we want to sell the property as quickly as possible at the highest possible price so that we can at least, maybe give back the capital that we raise from our investors while paying off our vendors and so forth. So, there's a lot of that going on around right now. A lot of people questioning, do we sell now? Do we hold on to the property? Do we not pay distributions and continue to manage the property and work it? So there's a lot of uncertainty still in the market right now. However, the market is still hot. When we went into this pandemic, we thought, oh my God, prices are going to drop. Cap rates are going to go sky high. People are just going to unload their properties, but we're not seeing that. There's still a huge demand for multifamily. It's something that we've never seen before, or I personally have never seen before. And, being involved in real estate for as long as I've been.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well said. That being said, let's shift a little bit now to capital gains tax. And some of the challenges with these multifamily owners who are looking at these very high prices, very low inventory to potentially 1031 exchange into, and not sure what to do if they do sell and have to have this huge tax. So what's been the biggest frustration for you, clients, or partners when it comes to capital gains tax deferral and or the 1031 exchange?
So, I was talking to one of my investor base, one of my investor groups, and I was mentioning to them, would you like to do a 1031 if we sell the property and so forth? And a majority of them said, yes, absolutely. Why not? Why go into that capital gains? But then you have that one or two people that say, no, I want my money back. Right. I want that. So that kind of throws a little wrench into the entire system. And again, even if we have the entire group saying, yes, let's move that money into another property, the frustration then becomes, well, I have 45 days to identify a property, right? And then you have, I think it's 180 days to close on it. But that's not a lot of time to go out and to find an asset to put their money into, because again, the shortage of inventory on the market, the influx of all these investors now from all over the world. We're not just dealing with local investors. We've got people coming in from Russia, from Canada, from Europe, from the Arabian Peninsula. They want to come to the US and buy multifamily. So it's difficult when you're, a syndicator like myself, and you're going against, the river rocks and the stones and the pebbles and all these funds and REITs that are coming in, putting in $100,000-$200,000 hard day one to buy a property. So it's very frustrating for us to do that. And we want to save our investors on the taxes, but it's hard to go about doing that. So, it's then the question comes, do we actually sell? Do we sell or do we hold on to the property, and do we continue running the property? But then I'm getting all these offers, these non-solicited offers. So it's a game, it's a juggling game. What do we do? What's the best course of action? And I think that's why our investors pay us to make those decisions for them.
Absolutely. No, I could agree with you more. We call it the shotgun wedding. Our parents taught us to sell high and buy low. They didn't teach us to sell high, get engaged in 45 days and get married in 180 in a low inventory market, right? With rates and offers just driving prices to the roof. So I'm in California, and this is part of my story, Nitzan, if you haven't heard it, but I was at Marcus and Millichap helping people buy and sell multifamily properties. And this was 06.
Mm-hmm.
Things were going great. I mean, the market was booming. But a lot of people had, were kind of cautious or kind of, reluctantly had bought properties via the 1031 exchange because they felt that was the only way they could actually defer the tax and make sense of it. But then the 2008 crash hit, and some folks lost half, some lost everything because they had too much debt, they had overpaid, and then they're kicking themselves saying, "I wish I would have just paid the tax." I knew it was the seller's. I knew it was a seller time to sell a couple of years ago, and then we learned about the Deferred Sales Trust, and this is what changed everything for me. You can now sell high, park it into Deferred Sales Trust. It's not a Delaware, it's not a TIC, it's not a 1031 at all. And the funds can sit there and you can put it into multiple assets, passive or active. You can put it in the stock market. But the key thing here is time is now on your side. There's no timing restrictions. There's no 45 days to identify. There's no 180 days to close. So one gentleman in 06, he sold, he put in the Deferred Sales Trust, and 5 years later, he bought his property back from the bank out of foreclosure at 60 cents on the dollar. So he sold high, bought low, all tax deferred. And by the way, you can learn more about that at capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. It's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. But we're coaching and training more people how to do this, but most people don't know about it. So I'm curious, have you ever heard of this before, Nitzan?
I have not. And I just wrote it down. I took a note, and I'm gonna investigate that.
Yeah, take a peek at it. Yeah, because I think you'll find it very, very interesting. That being said, let's move on to the lightning round if you're ready.
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So knowing what you know now, if you go back to your 25-year-old self, what's the one golden nugget you would make sure to tell yourself to do?
I would tell myself, build relations with people that can help you achieve your goals.
I love it. Second question, what's the number one book you've gifted or recommended the most in the past year?
I would say Think and Grow Rich.
Great book. Third question, what's the number one leadership quote or theme that you strive to live by?
Find someone who has what you want, do what they did, and you'll get what they got.
I like it. Who said that, by the way?
This is one of my mentors a long time ago. He told me that.
Okay, I like it. I like your mentor. Next question is this. What are you curious about right now?
I'm sorry?
What are you curious about right now?
I'm curious about cryptocurrency, how that's going to pull in real estate acquisitions.
Excellent. Yeah, I just heard that same answer from a guest I had on earlier. And we're also working on I might as well plug this too. We're working on a $9 million cryptocurrency sale. And this gentleman's going to be able to defer his capital gains tax using the Deferred Sales Trust. And then what he wants to do is reallocate that and go buy investment real estate. So you're going from no cash flow to something that's highly volatile, that's had a huge gain. Then you can capture that equity, defer the tax, and then use the money or in partnership with the trust to go buy real estate. And so it's like you get the depreciation, awesome. All the fun stuff. So yeah, as soon as that deal closes, maybe we'll have you back on to talk about that. Next question is the best real estate investment ever.
Best real estate investment ever that I've done? Oh, that's a good one. I would say it was, it's a good question. The best real estate investment. I'm trying to think of all the real estate.
It could be a good one. It could also be a client's one, something recent. That's okay. Just something where you just say, this is what it was. This is kind of how they found it. And here's kind of the outcome.
So it was a 240 unit property outside of the Love Airport in Dallas that was bought to me by a colleague of mine. We closed on it, and we bought it, I think, for about $5.5 million, put about $500,000 to $1 million of money into it. And then 21 months later, we got an unsolicited offer for about $11 million.
That's a phenomenal deal.
We paid $1 million prepayment penalty and we sold it.
Okay. So you bought it for $5.5 million. So let's call it, you put 1.5 into it to say that because of the prepay, right? So you're all in at about 7, right? About 7. And then you sold it for 11, just 21 months later. So about a $4 million gain. That's amazing. By the way, did you 1031 or did you pay the tax?
No, we paid the tax.
Oh, so I wish you. So yeah,
we had a couple on to continue, so we had to pay it.
Right, and so you're teeing me up too much here. Okay, just so you know, we just did a $20 million deal in Vegas and another $16 million multifamily deal in Vegas. And it was the exact same thing. The entire entity didn't want to move. So on a 1031 exchange for our listeners, it's like Blockbuster because the whole entity must move, right? It's very restrictive, 45 days, 180 for the 1031. Whereas a thing called Netflix, we call that the Deferred Sales Trust. It's seamless. The whole entity doesn't have to move. In fact, those two deals, just the two GPs did their own Deferred Sales Trust. Then the rest of the LPs just took back their money and just paid their tax. In other words,
Wow.
it's a seamless partnership separation. The whole entity does not have to move because we're not a 1031 exchange, which is super, super powerful. And in fact, 99% of the syndicators like yourself, Nitzan, that we meet, before they meet us, that's what they're doing. They're not accepting 1031 money, nor are they doing 1031s because the whole entity must move and it's too complex. But the Deferred Sales Trust is very seamless in and out of passive or active deals because it's a trust. It's not a 1031, and also very seamless on the way out because you can do your own individual. So anyways, you can learn more about that at capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. That being said, Nitzan, very last question is this. After all your success as a broker, as an investor, coaching and helping people with their investment in real estate, especially with multifamily, what's your best secret to staying centered in your values and encouraged to reach for new goals?
That's a great question. Well, I think you have to know yourself. You have to know what's important for you. We can't get lost in the pursuit of money. We have to get lost, if you will, in the pursuit of building a lifestyle. A lot of times what I teach my clients and my mentor clients is that let's figure out what kind of lifestyle you want to have. What do you want to do with your family? Who do you want to become? And then let's build your business around that lifestyle rather than adjusting your lifestyle to work your business. And knowing yourself and knowing what's important for you and knowing your passions and your desires and your fears can help you stay focused. And having a clear map of where you want to go and who's going to help you get there. Forget about how you're going to get there. It's who can help me get there. Can keep you balanced, because a lot of times we lose focus. There's a lot of things that are pulling us left and right. So having a clear end game, end picture, and knowing who can help us achieve that will help you stay centered and focused.
So much wisdom there. I'm excited for your book to come out if you want to talk about that. And, I've heard it said this way too. I think Russell Brunson, he says it well. He says, hire the who, find the who, don't be the how, right? And that's the key, building that dream team and finding someone who's already been there, that guide or that coach that can help you get there. Surround yourself with them, pay for the coaching program, pay for the book, pay for the, whatever it is to help you to be where they're at. Right. And so love that so much. And for our listeners who want to get in touch with you, can you remind them one last time where they can connect with you?
Sure, absolutely. You can check me out on my website. It's in www.investwithcip.com. You can also go to my mentoring website. That's www.traveling- I just blanked out. Traveling-investor.com. Okay. And you can reach me by phone as well. It's 561-212-7247.
Excellent. Nitzan, I want to thank you for being on the show, sharing a bit about your story. Just a whole ton of wisdom here. I want to encourage you to keep striving to be the best so you can help your students, your clients, and your partners and family be the best as well. And then to keep believing and building that passive income, right? Through investment real estate, so you can have more freedom and do all the things that I guess your lifestyle, right? Your lifestyle that you're trying to build. So I appreciate you being on the show, and I also want to thank our listeners for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast. As always, we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy and or connecting with someone like Nitzan Mosery to invest in real estate syndication deals. Something like a Dallas deal that has like a value add is the best way for you to grow your wealth. Hey, if you're looking to defer capital gains tax on the sale of cryptocurrency, investment real estate, save a failed 1031 exchange. We just saved one out of Georgia, 128 unit complex. Primary home, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Also public or private stock, basically anything that's highly appreciated. You can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. And if you are a real estate syndicator, operator, multifamily broker, your luxury realtor, you can also go to experttaxseekers.com to learn how to be equipped with the Deferred Sales Trust to offer it to your clients and partners. That's experttaxseekers.com. Thanks everyone for listening, and please rate, review, subscribe.